Could have been one of the most tragic weeks of all time. We almost lost two heavyweights. President John Mahama, the president of Ghana, right? He almost lost his life in a helicopter crash. Take a look up on the screen. Helicopter crash in Ghana kills the Minister of the Defense and the Minister of the Environment and 6 others, right? It was said that the president of Ghana was supposed to be on that same trip, going to the same location, but last minute changes made him go somewhere else, and he narrowly avoided tragedy. Now, we already know the previous president of Ghana, we already knew he was collaborating with the adversary. So when we seen John Mahama came to power and we saw that, he was friendly, he was opening up economic relations. He allowed the brothers in the Sahel to use his port for import and export, and also gave Ibrahim Traoré his own personal depot at the port down in Ghana. So the president of Ghana, that's one of our allies in the region. That's definitely one of the big homies. So if he would have died in a plane crash after he just came to power, that would have been a tragedy, brothers. That would have been a tragedy. I'm not gonna lie, that would have been a big loss, right? The adversary would have been up. The adversary would have scored a goal on us crazy, right? And then a few days after that, I started hearing rumblings of President Assimi Goïta. They almost took him out. They almost took my boy out. As you can see, we saw the headlines coming out. Mali arrests 24 soldiers over an alleged bid to topple the government. Now, luckily, the attempt failed. And luckily, John Mahama, the president of Ghana, and His Excellency, the president, the general, the head of the Confederation, President Assimi Goïta, he's still here. He's still in power. So, man, it was a very close call this past week. We almost took some big losses this past week, right? The adversaries would have been celebrating, right? And not only our European adversaries, but also our black adversaries as well, right? The guys walking around talking about Pan-Africanism is dead. They would have also been celebrating the deaths of President John Mahama and President Assimi Goïta. So luckily, luckily we still here. We still in the building.